What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome in to CHGO Bulls Postgame. Coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck, joined by Big Dave, Bow, BAWL Sports, Will the Goat Gottlieb, Will_Gottlieb. Our pal and producer on the controls is Mr. Joey Spathis at Joey Spathis. The Bulls fall to the Miami Heat 112-91 is the final. Eliminated in Game 2 of the play-in tournament for the second consecutive year by the same opponent. Jimmy Butler or no Jimmy Butler, don't matter.
They went home.
Y'all have fun on Wednesday? Are
you asking me sincerely?
Hope y'all have fun.
Or is this a soliloquy?
Hope y'all have fun on Wednesday. No, I'm not ready for my soliloquy yet.
Not yet?
No, let's talk about the game first.
You sure?
Then I'll give my soliloquy.
Okay, game first, then soliloquy. All right. Hey, congratulations to Matt Peck and the rest of Heat Nation for, getting this victory. So shout out to y'all for that. But yeah, they got their ass whooped, dog. Bulls got their ass stomped by the Miami Heat. And if they were there at the beginning, they were there at the beginning. And they were competitive at the beginning, very, very early in the first quarter.
They came out strong.
They were matching bucket for bucket with the Heat. But then it boiled down to what the Bulls are, a team that struggles to defend the three and a team that struggles to hit the three. And the Heat just hit those threes, and they got those shots. And the Bulls, they were getting wide open looks at the three. It was being executed and drawn up correctly. They couldn't hit a shot to save anybody's life tonight, man. And they fell back into that same old thing we kind of saw all year long. You know what I mean? Give you one good game, give you this game. Give you one good game, give you this game. This is how you end up below 500 and battling for the play-in at the 9th seed.
I think that's really well said. To me, the way that I was thinking about this was like the Hawks game was like the perfect version of the Bulls, right?
Yeah.
It was everything was clicking. They were shooting threes. They were getting downhill. They were spraying it out. They were making extra passes. They were cutting. They were offensive rebounding. They were getting to the free throw line. They were making their shots. DeRozan was crazy. Kobe went off. Literally everything that the Bulls have wanted to do, dating back to Nashville, dating back to last year in training camp, dating back to basically the day Lonzo Ball got hurt, and they realized they had to make some changes to how they were playing. That was like the epitome of how it can look when they are clicking. And this was the exact opposite. Everything went wrong for the Bulls tonight. And like I've seen some comments talking about Billy's coaching and his adjustments. I've seen some comments about the Bulls' effort and energy. I think at a certain point they kind of realized what the situation was impacted in
Third quarter.
But I do not think this was like a problem with the players or the problem with the coaching. It was just the reality of the situation that this team, it is what it is. Yep. It's a team that can give you those highs, and it's a team that can give you these lows. And when we're talking about these lows, I mean 38% from the field, 13 of 43 from three, 30%. They got destroyed in the battle of the free throws. Bulls were 8 of 10. Heat were 22 of 24. They gave up more offensive rebounds than they were able to collect for themselves. The Heat had 9 offensive rebounds. Bulls had 7. They turned it over 12 times. And, the Heat turned it over a little bit more, but that was the one area where it felt like the Bulls had a chance to compete. And, those are the areas where Billy's talked about it all year, last couple of years. The margins are so thin with this team. They're going to lose the three-point battle, as they did tonight only by 1, but in terms of percentage, it was much worse. The Bulls actually shot a lot of threes tonight. But the margins are so small with this group that they have to be perfect in all those areas. And they got killed in all of those areas. And that's how you lose by, they were down 28 or 30 or something, ended up losing by 21. But this was as bad as it gets coming off of a game that was as good as it got. Yeah. And I think it really perfectly symbolizes what this group is.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Shout out to everybody hanging out with us in the chat. Our fellow Bulls fans, we are here for you tonight. Tell us what's on your mind. Atlanta was our championship game. Yeah, that's right. I hope you all enjoyed that Atlanta championship game, Flex Diggs and everybody else. Look, you mentioned the high volume of threes tonight, Will, and the fact that they weren't super efficient on them, 13 of 43. We were talking in pregame about how the Bulls averaged 39 three-point attempts against this Heat team in their 4-game regular season series.
A lot of zone, you got to shoot over it.
The zone defense, you have to shoot over it. Do the Bulls personnel have the personnel to do that?
To take the shots, yeah. To hit them, no.
That's what it is. And look,
and they passed up a lot
the
too.
Bulls at halftime were in such a good position, despite shooting below 30% from the field through the first two quarters.
27.
And you said it, Will, like, it could have been so much worse than a 10-point deficit at halftime. At one point in that second quarter, the Heat went scoreless for 4.5 minutes. And the Bulls turned a 17-point deficit into an 11-point deficit.
As 20, but yeah, they got it down to 11.
You got it down to 11 in a 4.5-minute stretch where the Heat went scoreless, missed 9 straight field goals. We knew that the Bulls had a chance to win this game because especially without the ISO Jimmy Buckets possessions, this Heat half-court offense is a joke.
Struggle.
It's a joke.
They struggled. No point guard.
They struggled, and the Bulls could not hit a shot to save their lives and get them closer into that game.
Again, they had opportunity, like you said, they had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to hit these shots, and they just couldn't. But again, it's what they've kind of been all season long. And I think the wildest part was got to the fourth quarter, and they had 67 points. And I was like, wait a minute, didn't they have like 73 at the half when they played the Hawks?
The Bulls had 60 points through 3 quarters tonight.
Man, but I'm just saying, when they got to the fourth, they have 67. They still hadn't eclipsed what they had done in the actual half through an actual 4 quarters.
They had
3.5 quarters.
They had 110 going into the fourth quarter Wednesday night. They had 60 going into the fourth tonight.
Yeah, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, baby.
If you enjoyed Wednesday's win, good for you. I'm happy for you. I'm glad you got some enjoyment out of that. We talked in pregame about how this Heat defense, Jimmy Butler or no Jimmy Butler, was going to be different and going to present problems. I did not necessarily anticipate the Bulls shooting sub 30% for the better part of this game. But carving up that Hawks defense means nothing. It means nothing. The Pacers poured in goddamn 200 points against them in their regular season finale. And we all knew that the Heat had the better coach.
Yes.
On the other bench.
Yes.
Coming into this game. We knew that Spo would have a game plan. And Will, you predicted, correctly so, that they were going to throw a lot of Bam at DeMar. And they did. They threw a lot of doubles. They even threw triples at DeMar.
He was scoring through it.
And he was still scoring through it. That was the only thing the Bulls offense had going for it.
Can we just, for a second, I don't know if this is ends up being DeMar's last game as a Bull. It may or may not. We'll probably talk about that more later.
No, of course it won't be. They're running this back.
We'll get more into it, but man, that guy is good.
Yeah.
He is incredible. So freaking good. He just would not let this thing get out of hand for the first 2.5 quarters, and then obviously it did. But he was just, the way he was scoring, the way he was just he was hitting threes tonight. He was literally just doing whatever he could to keep this thing from getting out of reach.
The best 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
3 or 5 on the night.
3 or 6 on the night,
3 or
ultimately.
6, excuse me.
22 points on 8 of 16. But yeah, the way that they were defending him.
Holy shit, I went 2 of 11 from
2
downtown
of
tonight.
11.
Damn. That's what I'm talking about.
3 of 15 total.
Damn.
Everybody on the Bulls shot 50% or better from the field last game. With the exception of one person. Today, DeMar shot 50, Vooch 7 of 17, Kobe 5 of 16, Caruso 2 of 8, DeSumo 3 of 15. It was
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, man. That's how it is, man. But yeah, again, DeMar DeRozan was incredible. You don't even get this close, or be even that 11-point deficit they get, or even what was the closest? I think 7 was the closest that they got. You don't get any of that, without DeMar DeRozan and the way he played, man. But yeah, I thought the two main, as I mentioned in the pregame, I thought the two most important people were going to be Ayo DeSumo and Alex Caruso, because of Ayo's ability to drive to the bucket, and I thought Caruso would get an opportunity to get open threes. And you saw Ayo DeSumo, like I said, 3 of 15. You know what I mean? So he didn't have a great game. And then you saw Alex Caruso was 2 of 6 from the 3-point line. So they needed those guys to come through. They didn't, but I'm not putting that on them because none of them, came through tonight. All of them played like ass. But, well, maybe except Vooch. Vooch was solid. I'll give Vooch a little bit. He was solid. He shot terribly, but he was all right.
He knocked down threes and he missed like 6 layups.
Yeah. That's why I say he was all right. I give him an all right on that one. Yeah, all right. He was cool. But, yeah, everybody else just a really bad game, bad to tough game. And like I said, the Heat didn't put the clamps on them defensively until later in the game. The Bulls, again, had a ton of wide open shots and a ton of opportunity to get back in there in that first and second quarter and the beginning of that third. It wasn't until the middle of that third quarter where the Heat said, okay. And you kind of expected it to be that way because that's how the Heat have always been, because that's how championship teams do all the time. Remember, the Heat went to the finals last year. This is how it goes. And I saw people, when we were doing our off-day show, talking about Eric Spoelstra. Like, why y'all keep talking about Eric Spoelstra? And y'all make him seem like he's some kind of god or something. No, bro, he's just an elite-ass coach for these kind of reasons. You know what I mean? When you see what he did. My favorite thing he did tonight was when it was, 32-15? And they got a putback, and he called a timeout because he was pissed the Bulls got an offensive rebound and a putback. Like, dude, he's an incredible coach, man. And I will always give him love for that, man. But they got their asses handed to them, baby, on this stage right here. Now we in the offseason.
Sports Chicago style saying, healthy Sanogo versus Drum with a bad ankle, question mark?
Whoa, don't do this.
Please, Bulls fans, I beg of you.
That.
Just know what the deal is.
Don't do that.
Sanogo was not eligible to play in these play-in tournament games.
He was not.
Drummond played just 8 minutes. Also, points in the paint, 36-36 tonight. Bulls shooting, 13-43 from 3, 38% overall. Yeah, it's because Sanogo wasn't in there. Come on, guys. Look, okay. I believe 2 things were proven true tonight.
Okay.
Eric Spoelstra is a better coach than Billy Donovan, in case anyone ever doubted that, and I don't think any Bulls fans necessarily did, but Spo out-coached Billy tonight, flatly. Also, this is a poorly constructed roster, and that is not Billy Donovan's fault.
No.
Both things can be true.
And both things have been true.
Tell Bulls Twitter that.
Like, both things have been true, man. You know, that's what it is. But here we are. We're in this position right here. Again, I'm happy they got to the play-in. Yes, I'm happy they got that win. I'm happy Kobe White had his game. I'm happy they had this opportunity to get to the playoffs. I'll never turn that down. I just won't. I'll always be for that, for those young guys getting an opportunity to play in that kind of environment, to go against this kind of team. I'm always for it every single year. Like, I'm not against this, man. Hopefully next year, we'll see what happens in the offseason. Obviously, we have no idea. But we'll see what happens in the offseason on what they bring back and what they don't. But now these guys know what they're working on. Now they know what they got to get into. And they got a lot to do. There's a lot to do and a lot of questions to be answered. And a ton of questions to be answered, man. And hopefully we get at least one of them, very soon.
I swear Bulls fans are a bipolar bunch. Jason Ashland, Kobe's trash. TR, Kobe White is a chump. Really? Really?
Sanogo will be better than Vooch.
After the game we saw on Wednesday?
Hey.
Okay, yeah. Kobe White, just 5 of 16 and 2 of 8 from downtown tonight. Had 4 turnovers to his 4 assists. Not
Tough
a great game from Kobe.
Yeah.
We knew that it was going to be a tougher night sledding for Kobe.
Yeah.
To dominate offensively the way he did Wednesday.
Yeah.
Against his Heat defense. We knew that would be the case.
Mm-hmm.
You can't turn on Kobe White and the collective work he put forth this season. Mm-hmm. The work he put into improving his game this season based on this game tonight. I think that's absolutely foolish. There's one thing that I feel good about and excited about next season. It's watching Kobe White play basketball.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's the problem with like being so reactive to wins and losses or like single games. Like, and it speaks to how the front office has to approach this thing too. Like, you can't just make decisions about the future of your team based on a great win against the Hawks or a terrible loss against the Heat. Like, you have 2.5 years worth of information about how this team plays together and it not being good enough. And so, yes, there's reasons for optimism. There were some signs of improvement. Kobe obviously got a lot better this year. Ayo got a lot better this year. Caruso played at a super high level. DeRozan played at a super high level. It's not like this thing was just like horrible top to bottom. It was just mediocre top to bottom because
Yes.
you can have good moments and you can have bad moments, and ultimately it comes out
mediocre
in the
middle
middle.
to middle.
Yeah.
It was middle to middle
Yeah.
the whole way through,
That's what mediocre is. Yeah. in the
and
middle.
that's the issue.
Yeah.
Let's take our first break right there. We will come back. Plenty more to get to with thoughts on tonight's game and where the Bulls go from here as their 23-24 season comes to an end against Miami in the play-in tournament for the second straight year. We got
Like the
nearly
bike.
500 of y'all, our fellow Bulls
Hey.
fans, watching live with us on YouTube.
Only
We
56 likes?
appreciate each and every one of you.
on.
Let's get that likes number up.
What are we doing?
Show the thumb. Be there and be supportive of your fellow Bulls fans. Spread the joy in the form of that thumbs up button. Make sure you also subscribe to CHGO Sports YouTube channel.
Troll joke.
Bulls season may be over, but we got plenty on deck. Baseball in full swing. NFL draft next week. Let's go.
Draft.
Big Dave, who we shouting out first tonight?
And a quadruple header tomorrow.
Quadruple header.
Quadruple header. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped, ladies and gentlemen. Did you know one man every hour, every day is diagnosed with testicular cancer? In fact, testicular cancer is the most common form of cancer amongst men aged 15 to 35. Now, with April being National Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, our friends over at Manscaped have partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society to help spread awareness for men's health and early cancer detection. Visit manscaped.com/TCS to learn how to check yourself for early signs of cancer. And as always, you can use that promo code BULLS, 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 for 20% off and free shipping with Manscaped. Because with that in mind, you can perform a simple routine check at home while enjoying Manscaped products like that Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Get yourself right. I showed that to my nephew, and I was like, hey, man, can you use this? And he was like, what's it for? I was like, you just told me how old you are, and this ain't for you. You can't use this product, sir. No, sir. It stays here. They featured 2 interchangeable skin-safe blade heads in the Lawnmower 5.0, a standard one for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth and sleek. So, in addition to providing the right tools and solutions for comfort and easy grooming, Manscaped is committed to raising awareness and giving supporters for fighters, survivors, and families impacted by testicular cancer. That is why they will be donating $50,000 to the Testicular Cancer Society. Help save lives and balls by going over to manscaped.com/TCS and sharing their funny, educational, check yourself video. And while you're there, as I mentioned before, grab 20% off and free shipping while using the code BULLS. Because like a famous American philosopher once said, take care of your mentals, your balls, and your chicken. In that order.
Your chicken?
Yes, you can put an S on there if you want. All of it. In that order, though. Just make sure it's in that order.
In that order. After you get those things taken care of in that order, you know what is next on your to-do list?
Tell me.
Having fun, making picks, and making money with Prize Picks.
Oh, that's your jam.
Largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS, just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, maybe Jerry's in there making picks, getting in your way. No, none of that. Just you picking more than or less than on 2 to 6 different player stat projections on the game that you are stoked to watch that day, and watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the playoff action. Win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks as you and the world's best players take the game to a new level during basketball's postseason, which begins tomorrow. Quadruple header. Let's go! Oh my God, I'm so excited. You can win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4. That's it. Just 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000 with your basketball Prize Picks. Or we got Stanley Cup playoffs rolling around the corner too with your hockey Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CHGO and use code CHGO for a first-time deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/CHGO, promo code CHGO. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy with Prize Picks.
Got it right. Yes, okay, yes, sir.
Oh, my goodness.
You all right?
I'm great.
Okay.
I am great. I think you know that. I'm worried about my fellow Bulls fans and their mental and emotional health tonight.
Oh,
how are you doing, Dave? Are you okay?
I'm great.
Okay.
I'm all good, man.
As you were walking down the hall in the men's room right after the game went final, Will and I had a nice little hug, nice little moment together, and he was like, "I feel bad for Dave," and I was like, "He'll be okay. He'll be okay."
Dude, I'm not mad. My heart and soul isn't on this, dog. Like, I'm fine.
I mean, like, I'm sorry for you. I just felt like, you wanted the season to keep going.
Yeah, I wanted to win. They didn't win. Okay.
That was it. There was nothing more to it.
Tomorrow, quadruple header. I'll be right back at watching some basketball,
can't wait.
baby.
I'm ready for a mad soliloquy.
I'm ready for a Peck soliloquy, man.
You want it?
I'm ready.
Come on with it.
Get my popcorn. Hang on a second.
Alex saying Matt is high. I saw somebody else a minute ago saying, I want confirmation on whether or not Matt took a bong rip tonight. No. Sunny side? Well, I mean, these are Shady Rays sunglasses. Shout out to our old friends at Shady Rays. No, I just felt like, my future, my off-season future is so bright that I needed to wear some sunglasses tonight.
What's bright about your off-season future?
Sunshine. Working a Monday to Friday 9 to 5 talking about the Bulls instead of working nights and weekends talking about the Bulls. And first and most importantly, now that we don't have a best-of-7 series against the Celtics on deck, Uncle Matt's going to go home after postgame tonight and book a flight to go see his nieces down in Texas.
Awesome.
Mental health.
Good stuff.
Emotional health.
Good stuff.
Shout
out to the family.
Nothing cheers up my sad, dead, crippled Bulls fan heart like playing with my nieces.
See, you check on him. That's what I'm saying. I'm good.
Oh, I know how he's doing.
It's him, dog.
I was going to tweet if anybody
so,
wants to see.
This is him happy.
So let me use this comment from Emilio here as my jumping off point if y'all want the Peck soliloquy right now. Emilio said, I can't see Donovan wanting to coach this team again. If Acme and Donovan leave, they bring in a competent president and GM, plus a coach like Adrian Griffin, maybe we can improve. So as a Bulls fan talking about a lot of big picture potential changes, where does this team go from here? Take the shades off for this real quick. So, look, I was having my fun on Wednesday night, rolling my eyes at that win and saying, Bulls fans who are throwing shade at me right now for saying this win means nothing, you hate all you want, throw the hate at me, I don't give a shit. Because I was ready for the other shoe to drop. Because I've known for years as a Bulls fan that the other shoe will always drop. There's no way the Bulls can lose this game. Kobe White just went off. They dominated Atlanta. Offense firing all cylinders. The Heat don't have Jimmy. Bulls are going to the playoffs. Maybe they can even give the Celtics a couple tough games. I sat here silently.
No, you didn't.
Waiting for the other shoe to drop. There was a lot of talk all season long, and then especially after a packed United Center watched the Bulls win on Wednesday. And there is this notion that some people among diehard Bulls fans, the most passionate fans in the NBA, some of the most passionate fans in the sporting world, are pointing a finger of blame at their fellow fans for showing up, for feeding their money into this system that continuously disappoints us and lets us down. And I think that is misguided. It is not blaming our fellow fans for continuing to support this mediocre product. It is being frustrated in knowing the truth that this ownership group is knowledgeable enough to prey on and victimize a fan base that is so blindly, passionately loyal that they will pack the United Center for a 9 versus 10 play-in tournament game and get up on their feet as the Bulls went on those runs, and Kobe White makes this amazing collection of dazzling layups and Javonte Green fast break dunks and DeMar DeRozan fast break dunks, and it's all fun, and Bulls fans love to be in that building and support it. And Bulls players deserve credit after a 5-14 start for not giving up at any point this season and fighting their way to where they were. I'll even give some credit to the coaching staff for helping the players get there. Most of the credit goes to the players. We all know where the blame goes. The blame goes to the people who are okay with a mediocre product and continuously give fans a mediocre product because the fans keep telling them that a mediocre product is good enough. As much as Bulls fans yell and cry out on social media and in their group chats and at their sports bars and in their living rooms to one another, this isn't good enough. Bulls fans deserve more. Bulls fans built this team and its ownership group, their fortune and their global presence. We deserve more because we worked to build the Bulls into what they are. And yet we still show up. And yet we still buy their merchandise. There was something that the NBA's official Twitter account put out today. End of season, merch sales across 30 NBA teams. Bulls, 5th. NBA, attendance, home games. Bulls, 1st again this season. Where is this separation between Bulls fans who we talk to every day, every week, every year, saying mediocrity is not good enough? We will not support mediocrity, to top 5 in merch sales, number 1 in attendance. Where is that separation? And again, I cannot state this more clearly. I am not blaming my fellow Bulls fans. I will always be here supporting my fellow Bulls fans. And if you want to go and support your team as a 9th seed in a play-in game, that is your right. I have always said, Bulls fan, how you want a Bulls fan? Dave, you have said, go to the game, support the team. I hear that. But if you actually want to see change, there are only so many things Bulls fans can do. We are powerless in so many categories. The Bulls as an organization and a business are going to collect money regardless when they are a non-luxury tax-paying team, getting their payout at the end of every season from the teams that do pay the luxury tax. They are going to collect their money every season from their TV and radio broadcasting rights deals. Next season, whether it be NBC Sports Chicago or Stadium or wherever the hell Jerry takes this team, Bulls fans are powerless when it comes to affecting the Bulls ownership from making money on that. Bulls fans do hold power when it comes to affecting how much money they make, using us as prey, as victims, as sheep on things like merchandise and gate revenue. So stop threatening to stop spending your money on a product you as a passionate and loyal fan are not satisfied with, and start walking instead of talking. I, as a Bulls fan, am done spending my money on this team. I spent no money on the Bulls merch or ticket-wise last season. I spent no money on the Bulls merch or ticket-wise this season. I encourage my fellow Bulls fans who want change and to want to send a message to do the same. If you're not in and you don't feel like that way as a fan, fine. Fan how you want to fan. But until either we get new ownership of this team or the current existing ownership of this team has a drastic change in approach to how they conduct their business of building an actual competitive organization that contends for championships and makes deep playoff runs regularly, why the hell would I give them another dime of my money? I won't, and neither should you.
That was good.
It was good.
I mean,
Very well said.
It's so true because, like,
With the hat throw.
those things should not be mutually exclusive, right? Like, deciding to support your team and team investing in and trying to build a good roster. But, like, they are. I mean, it seems as if they are.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to shit on any of what he said. Or
Just
get
an
back on
agency
it.
saying Peck still went to Paris. Let's not get all high and mighty. What, do you think the Bulls paid for our trip to Paris? CHGO paid for that trip to Paris.
God,
We
how
didn't go
dare
to
you
a
do
game
your
that
job?
Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to rebuttal because my man, gave his speech. You know what I mean? Do I agree with all of it? No. But I'm not going to say, not going to say nothing about it. Season's over. That was beautifully said by Matt. And a lot of it was true. A lot of it was very, very true. It's based on fact. And a lot of things you can't argue with, but you can debate. It's fact. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's how he feels. I ain't mad at it at all. There's truth all in it, and there are Bulls fans who definitely feel that way as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, fan how you want to fan. And please keep hearing what he said. Fan how you want to fan. He's telling you how he feels and how he wants a lot more Bulls Nation to feel as far as not supporting them, as far as the merchandise, as far as the money, as far as showing up at the games. Hey, they put him in this situation. This is the reaction you're going to get. Joey?
What? Did I miss something?
No, I just threw it at you because I could.
Yeah.
Just went there with it, man.
I mean, what else can you say?
Yeah. We put it on him, man. That's it.
I mean,
It sucks because it shouldn't have to be on
That's
the
what I'm saying. Like,
fans
it's
to
not-
not go to the games. It sucks that has reached that point. And like we've said, like fan how you want to fan. It's unfortunate that this team has an ownership group that does not care about the success of the team. And so, I mean, the sad reality is the fans could boycott. It could be an empty stadium and there could still be no change. Like, it's just –
they are who they are.
you got to worry about what you can control at some point, and it's depressing, but it's the reality.
I think, like, I don't think, first of all, this is a business, right?
Sure.
The Bulls are a business.
Sure.
It's a private company that they get to run how they want to run it. Obviously, we can agree or disagree with that, but, like, that's the reality of the situation. But my point is, like, it shouldn't be up to them to decide business is bad, so we're going to make some changes versus, like, our team is bad, so we're going to make some changes.
Exactly.
And like, they're never going to come out and say, yes, that's how it is, or no, that's not.
Right.
But, like, what do we know about change that's happened in the past? Happened when ticket sales stopped coming in. So, like I said, I don't know for a fact if that's true. It seems like it is. And it shouldn't have to be that way, because it should be on ownership and the front office not to be complacent with ticket sales and, like, people getting excited about a 9-10 game to stop them from actually doing the right thing to help improve their stock and their standing and their future.
Yeah.
Because it's quite obvious, I think, to most people in the NBA world, whether it's casual fans, whether it's people who show up and watch our show every day, like, there's kind of two places to be in basketball.
Sure.
You're either a team that's a buyer or a team that's a seller. You're either a team that's contending or you're a team that's rebuilding. And everybody else who's stuck in the middle is stuck in the middle for a reason.
Yes.
It's because they don't fall into either of those categories. And it's easy to stay on the treadmill of mediocrity, but sometimes the hard decision is to step off of it and make some tough decisions that can help you out in your future. And no, it doesn't guarantee anything, but that's the only way off, is to step off.
right.
About it, like, spending money doesn't guarantee something. That's the part that's crazy to me, is that they could have went into the luxury tax for this team and we could still be in this exact same scenario, because that's not obviously the ownership is a massive problem, but don't get, like, this is a poorly constructed roster that has serious flaws, and you could spend all the money in the world. They have mismanaged their pay sheet. They have mismanaged their assets, and those are big problems regardless of the luxury tax, regardless of the ownership, which still remain a huge problem. But it's like the problems go beyond just that. There's problems in the front office beyond the ownership, just at the basketball level.
But that's the level I'm at.
Right,
Yeah,
and
no,
it's
I'm with
like
you on
that scares the shit out of me, because I'm like, we can't even get that part right.
Dude, shitty ownership is shitty ownership. Like, I can literally just pull out the New York Knicks for every single same thing, because the Knicks are always top 10 in everything that Matt just mentioned. Always. You can go back to the early 2000s if you want to and see it. The Knicks are always
They didn't even win 6
top
championships.
10. You know what I mean? And they didn't win shit. They ain't win shit. And their owner is terrible. All right? Their owner is horrific. You know, the difference of what they did was they got a better front office. That's the difference of what they did. When they got actual people who knew what they were doing up in that situation,
And again,
then you saw things change. It ain't the own. For me, this is me. For me, it ain't never the person who owns it, because that's going to be that person. They don't care. They're here for money, and that's what it's going to be. They're going to be shitty owners in every goddamn sport that you play. They're going to be shitty-ass owners. The problem for me will always be the front office that's there. That's the problem for me. So it's the front office that's there who's going to make that decision. Jerry don't give a goddamn.
But Jerry not giving a goddamn, to use your wording, Dave, is a part of the problem when it comes to an incompetent front office. Whether it was Gar and Pax or AK and Eversley now. And I'm sick of Bulls fans comparing the two. Incompetent Butter versus I can't believe it's not Butter, but it is still incompetent. And shout out to our friend Ricky O'Donnell of SB Nation. I saw a great tweet of his that was like, look, whether you're talking about Bulls fans and our undying loyalty being a problem because ownership is aware of it and they take advantage of our loyalty, or ownership being too loyal to a front office that does not do the job well. Because we lived through that for a decade and a half with Gar Pax, who did hit some hits in the draft, but fell short.
A lot of his.
And after a big bonanza of a 21 offseason, when Bulls fans were like, yo, AK making moves. Cool, we're excited. Got out to an amazing hot start, tied for first in the East at the All-Star break. We were all loving it. But then, inaction, excuse, followed by more inaction, followed by another excuse, followed by more inaction. And now, Ricky's tweet said, AK, since taking this job, 3 of 4 seasons, you missed the playoffs. You have 1 playoff win in 4 years to show for the fact that you mortgaged a lot of your future assets and draft capital to construct this roster. That should be enough of a sample size to lose your job. But AK probably, and by probably I mean definitely, won't lose his job when this season now has mercifully ended because ownership is okay with mediocre results. They always have been, they always will be. So the front office problem is immediately and directly correlated to the fact that ownership is the biggest problem, because ownership is okay with incompetent front offices who don't build winners so long as the stadium is full and the merch is flying off the shelves, because ownership doesn't care about winning. So why hold your front office accountable to winning when it's easy to just ignore whether or not they are doing their jobs well?
There it is. Break zone?
Break zone?
Break zone.
Let's take a break. God.
Breathe, baby, breathe.
I am simultaneously so happy and relieved that the season is over and now all riled up and pissed off about everything.
You should do both, man. You do
This
both.
comment made me laugh. Everyone's so pissed here. This comment. AK is sitting in his office thinking, this team is pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's the one guy,
That's what it boils to me, man.
the one guy who's happy tonight in Bulls Nation.
Dude, that's what it boils to me, bro. Jerry is not going to give a damn. He just won't. He just won't. It's more of the fact AK's happy with this shit than Jerry is for me, bro. That's what it is for me.
I think the way where I guess the idea of what Matt's trying to say is like,
Oh, no, I get what he's saying.
if there was any
he's not
pressure on AK
to
win
do his job right
from
yes.
the people that are supposed to hold him
He's not
accountable,
wrong.
he would have to do something.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong at all, dog. My thing is, it's always a shitty-ass owner in every situation. I don't care what the situation. Always, you will find one. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. We'll go. Break zone. I'm sorry.
Break zone.
I'm sorry.
We will come back and dive into whatever else you have on your mind, Bulls Nation. Let us know in the comments. Throw some super chats if you feel so inclined. We will get to those too. Because, generosity fills the spirit with joy.
Give.
And warmth.
Hand over.
Post game tonight brought to you by our friends at Ray Chevy. Maybe Cherry's looking for a great deal on a new vehicle.
He wants a deal.
He's
all the
always
time.
looking for a great deal.
He wants a deal all the time.
He wants a new ballpark for his team that's on track to win 20 of 162 games.
He's still cool.
So he's looking for a good deal on a nice car.
He's showing up for that shit.
Let me tell you what, Jerry. You got to head to Ray Chevy. That's where you go to get a good deal. Drive home a winner this April after visiting our partner, Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Ray Chevrolet. They're sharing their best offers of the year. Make your way to Ray Chevy on Route 12 in Fox Lake to join in on the savings. As one of the top selling Chevy dealers in the entire Midwest, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories. And as we know from our friend Jim, that includes Dallas, the future hub of the Midwest.
Yes.
Plus, you can find the perfect tailgate vehicle for next Bears season cheering on Caleb Williams and the future NFC North champs. For a limited time, they're offering 0% financing for 72 months on new Silverados with over 100 Silverados available, the perfect tailgating vehicle. And to top it all off, they're pricing over 125 vehicles under $20,000. That's right. Seriously, can pricing get any more affordable?
No.
Can the Bulls be any more mediocre? Get a free oil change at Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake when you mention CHGO. That's right, a free oil change. Jerry loves the word free, too. All you need to do is mention CHGO when scheduling your oil change. Start off the new year right and schedule it by April 30th. Visit Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Find new roads.
Beer. It's what we like. It's what Matt's going to drink a bunch of from now till probably next year.
From 93 till infinity.
That's how long he's been drinking. 21 and over, kids.
That's right.
Stay responsible. Coors Light.
Started drinking when I was 6.
Coors Light. Oh, Lord. Well, is your team stressing you out to say stuff like that? Or is life in general? Things can feel chaotic, but that's why Coors Light helps you find moments to chill all year. When those mountains turn blue, it's as cold as the Colorado Rockies. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that Coors Light. It's cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. When it's time to chill, open up that Coors Light. It's mountain cold refreshment, crisp and refreshing as the Colorado Rockies. And when it's time to chill, that's the beer that him reached for, he reached for, I reached for, and he reaches for. So you can do the same. And you can get it delivered straight to your door via Instacart. You don't have to move, especially tomorrow during a quadruple header. Get it delivered straight to you. CoorsLight.com/CHGO basketball. That's CoorsLight.com/CHGO basketball. Coors Light. Find your chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Like that smoothness? I do.
Tremendously smooth.
Thank
Just
you, sir.
say, Dave, we
Sure.
were not trying to defend the ownership. Just to bring some nuance into the fact that there's
Who's trying to defend ownership?
nobody. There's just, I'm reading in the chat. It's, you guys are idiots to let Jerry off the hook and only blame AK. I don't think that's what
No,
anybody's
you
saying.
dumbass.
Just
That's
using
not
some
what I'm
nuance
saying.
in terms of saying, yes, AK has not gotten the support that he needs from ownership, but
my God.
he also has not done a great job either.
I think
Oh,
AK's
my
got
Lord.
all the support in the world from ownership to do whatever he wants.
Sure.
He said as much.
Read this. Can we look at this one comment? Because I actually
Connor,
think
the one that's up there now?
I think this really illustrates it kind of well.
Connor saying, in all honesty, they're just not very good at this. I think AK has the autonomy to do what he desires. The problem is this is what he desires. Until he is removed, expect more of the same.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right because, well, I think part of it's right. I think the part of it that is right is that this is what he wants to do, and he seems very happy with that. I mean, he even said at his post-trade deadline press conference, I'm very happy with where we are right now.
He did say
and
this.
they were in 9th place.
Yeah.
So I think that's problematic.
Came back at 5th, though.
I think he also has as much autonomy as he wants to make the moves within the bounds of what is allowed by ownership, and that is basically don't go into the luxury tax unless you're a contender. He's done that. He's gone way up to the luxury tax. He's like $1 million away. He's as close as you could get without going over. He brought back Javante, but he's not going over to build a contender.
And
because
sorry, go ahead.
he's not going over to build a contender because he can't. But the real problem of why he's not actually making anything different, I don't think AK wants to be in the middle of the pack. I think what he wants to not be is bad.
Right.
He wants to avoid being bad. But the problem is you can't build through the middle. It just doesn't work. Every team that builds through the middle ultimately realizes that you have to go down or you have to get lucky in the draft somehow. But you just can't build through the middle like that. And I think the problem is when he built this roster and he constructed it the way that he did, he gave himself no outs. And now Lonzo gets hurt and Zach gets hurt and you have no picks to trade and you're up against the tax. What can you do other than make monumental changes? But what happens if you make monumental changes? You get bad.
Right.
You lose DeRozan, this team would be really bad. So he's not going to do that. And so the only thing he can do is tell everybody we're on the right track. We were 6 games over 500 after our poor start. The young players played well. Like that's what the party line's going to be tomorrow or whenever we hear from him because that's the only thing he could do within the realm of what he wants and what he is allowed to do.
Joel Wagner in the comments asking, do you blow it up, trade the big three, and move forward with youth for a few years to develop? And then, again, that goes back to this question. And Will, you specifically posed that question to AK at the trade deadline when it comes to where the Bulls maybe should have gone and pivoting into a new direction. You wanted that clarification from AK because several Bulls fans believe, well, the Bulls didn't sell off the pieces of this, disjointed and poorly constructed roster because ownership won't let the front office steer into a tank. And you got AK to confirm, no, if ownership heard me say to them, I think the best path forward right now is to pivot towards a rebuild, then they would support me in that because they are unconditionally supportive of what I think is best because they put me in charge of making basketball operations decisions. So it's because AK does not want to go that direction.
Look, man,
it's not ownership that's not willing to go through another rebuild. Because guess what? When they go through rebuilds, the United Center is full anyway. When you said he gave himself no outs, that's true. But other outs that he didn't create have presented themselves.
Well,
that he didn't take advantage of.
That's been the bigger problem. So the question was, do you want to go into rebuild? I think what I want the Bulls to do doesn't really matter, but what AK is willing to do is the real issue here. And I don't know, basically I think what they're going to try to do is trade Zach. You feel good about this core. You like DeMar. He's your closer. Vooch is a double-double machine. Patrick Williams was averaging 14 points. He was on a tear in the month of December. Kobe should be MIP. He likes that part of it. But the only way to make any move to clear out space is to trade Zach. But you're not getting anything for Zach right now. And so do you just keep waiting for Zach's contract to become palatable to another team and letting this team toil away in mediocrity until that happens? Or do you have to adjust to what's happened to you and change your plan? I don't know. I am imagining it's going to be the former though, because that's what we've seen for the last 3 years.
And let me say this, since Joey said that was directed at me, I'm defending Jerry or something.
No, I said me and you though.
Okay, all right. Well, no, I don't even want me in this, bro. Because I don't give a damn about Jerry Reinsdorf. I'm not for that at all. He's a shitty owner. We all understand this. Yes. My thing, which is who I've always been, is I like controlling what I can control. Jerry Reinsdorf, listen, what makes you more upset? If Jerry Reinsdorf tells you they're a game out of fifth, or the person who's the vice president of basketball operations telling you they're a game out of fifth when they're fucking eighth or ninth? What is going to upset you more? I don't care. The owner, it doesn't matter. But the person who's in charge of the day-to-day should know what the hell is going on for the day-to-day. That's on you. That's the person I'm going to be looking at. The owner don't care. He does not care, and we understand that. But the person running the operations in the day-to-day cannot be the person that is incompetent and cannot be the one. You can have an incompetent owner. You can have a terrible owner. You can have all these things that are just really built really bad. All of that can happen and still fall ass backwards in the money like you Kramer on Seinfeld. That can happen. But when you're the person that is putting together the team, constructing the team, putting the product on the floor, hiring the coach, putting together the whole front office, and you don't know what's going on the day-to-day, and you are still looking at fans telling them it's okay, and you are the person that is like, well, maybe we should have did something, but we probably not going to do anything. That's the person I'm looking at, because that's who the person that actually has some control out here. And Will saying right there that they're okay with you rebuilding. You know what I'm saying? That's front office putting that shit off of them and putting it right back on you and saying, oh, it's his decision. He can come up with that and figure it out. We're cool either way because we're going to get this money. We're fine either way. It's on the person that is in control and actually holds his hands on the levers like this and controlling the team. I'm more concerned what's going on the floor. And AK has done a poor job of putting something on the floor that is a good product. He's done a poor job of that. And I'm not going to be with that shit, bro. The ownership is a owner. He owns it. Until he says, I don't want to own it no more, it's his. It's nothing that's going to happen. Unless that happens, ain't nothing going to happen. But removing somebody who's working for them and doing that job, you can do something about that. You can take them out. You can move them on. And then you can bring in somebody that's better, that knows what they're doing. You can do those things, man. But that's what I get upset at. I wouldn't piss if Jerry told me if Michael Jordan was still playing for the team. I'd be like, oh, Jerry, that's fine. I wouldn't care. But AK telling me that, oh my God, you can't be the one that don't know what's going on.
That's fair. But the fact that you bring up Michael Jordan, Manny Valentine in the comments just said fans always dumping on Krause, but he's been the most successful GM in Bulls history. Like GM Jerry Krause built 6 championships. Okay, he did it with Michael Jordan, and he took the GM job after the team drafted Michael Jordan.
Sure.
That credit for Jerry only goes so far.
People booing Bob Myers.
Right. It's like, the ownership being loyal to front offices who don't necessarily build winners. And okay, ownership being loyal to a front office, a.k.a. Jerry Krause, who did build winners is one thing, even though Bulls fans have a legitimate gripe for the fact that ownership sided with Jerry Krause while simultaneously pushing out the greatest basketball player of all time and arguably the greatest basketball coach of all time.
Both of them.
To take Jerry Krause's side instead. How did those 5 years with GM Jerry Krause at the helm go after MJ and Phil got pushed out?
Swimmingly.
Twin Towers, Eddie Curry, Tyson Chandler.
Into the abyss.
Elton Brand looks good. Let's trade him.
We need a center type stuff.
Which is why, when you talk about, is it more on front office or is it more on ownership? It's on all of them, and it's on ownership being okay with front offices who underperform and not holding those front office executives accountable when they do underperform. Just to put in perspective the fact that this is beyond just this season that we were all frustrated with and that we all endured together, that very much mirrored last season in a lot of frustrating ways.
I got a great tweet on that real quick if I can share it.
Sure, go for it.
From our buddy Chris Amundsen.
What up, Chris?
Wait a second, let me find it. The Bulls did the exact same thing as last season and got the exact same result.
40 and
Pretty much sums
42,
it up.
1-1 in the play-in tournament. 39 and 43, 1-1 in the play-in tournament.
Lost to Miami twice.
Hashtag continuity. But it is so much deeper than that when you talk about ownership and front office and all those kinds of conversations. Shout out to our guy, Mark K., because he had this tweet a few days ago, and I freaking screenshotted it because I wanted to call back to it. The Bulls, since their last title in 1998, it's 26 years for those of you 27 years for those of you counting.
That's a whole Joey.
936 wins, 1,121 losses, 45.5 win percentage, equivalent of a 37 and 45 record in a single season.
So they overperformed this year.
9 winning seasons, 4 seasons at exactly 500, and 13 losing seasons. 350 win seasons, 12 postseason appearances, 13 seasons without making the playoffs, 1 Eastern Conference Finals appearance. In a quarter century since this ownership group sided with a front office executive pushing out Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson.
And that would be cool if that was the Charlotte Hornets. That'd be cool if that was the Washington Wizards.
But it's the Chicago Bulls.
Freaking Bulls, bro.
But I think that's
not good enough.
That is the sad reality of this situation. That is the Chicago Bulls. That is who this team is.
Without Michael Jordan, that is the Chicago Bulls.
That is my life as a Bulls fan. That is what I know.
You know D Rose and sadness.
That's it.
Yeah.
Really only I could count on one hand the truly fun and good seasons.
I mean, they made the playoffs 2 times in the last 9 seasons.
Sorry for you, Joe.
It's okay.
Feel bad.
It's okay because when they were great, it was something I'll never forget. And it's part of the reason that I remain tied to this team. But it's hard to look back on it and really think about it like, geez.
Because it's getting further and further away for you.
Yeah. I mean, we have a lot of
and I think if we're talking about
here, but
further away without actual hardware for you too either to fall back on.
But if we're talking about fans filling a stadium, there's been people who have been born and are now young professionals, people who even since Derek played, that was 11. His MVP season ago was 14 years ago.
13 years ago.
13 years ago.
Half of Joey.
There's whole lives of people who just never had a good team to watch and aren't going to be continuing to fill the stadium. There is an onus on ownership and on the GM and front office, whatever, to put a good team together. to keep that fan base showing up. Like that's just not necessarily a given. And I think it has been for a long time, which is what has allowed them to be successful in spite of their 27 years of mediocrity. But at a certain point, like, you have to imagine that runs out just because, like, the people there's more people who are alive and paying for those tickets now who didn't get it when it was good and aren't as invested and connected to this team.
I mean, a 45.5 win percentage.
It's not good.
In a quarter century.
Not good.
Since the GOAT and Phil Jackson walked out the door. And that is the absolutely
definition
infuriating
of
part, because ownership knows they can profit off of that. And shout out also to our guy Eli from Bleacher Nation, who had a great column earlier today about, like, hey, it's not on Bulls fans. It's not Bulls fans' fault for being supportive of their team. But he had one line in there that I was like, ooh, Eli, I would take issue with that. Because he said, like, you would think that the Bulls ownership and front office, seeing how excited and electric and packed the UC was on Wednesday for their home playing tournament game, would incentivize them to actually try better and do better to build a real contender.
You would think.
So you get more of those types of games and electric crowds. Because if the Bulls are even hey, we might have a shot at, like, conference semis this season. We are lunatics, frothing at the mouth, insane fans for a team that we have confidence all season long is playoff bound and might make a playoff run. That is all we ask. Sure, we want championships, especially those of us who grew up on them. We want more. That's what we want, but we will settle for competence and exciting competitiveness.
Correct.
Not incompetence and fake ass, not real competitiveness.
Correct.
They will always settle for it so long as they think enough of the fan base is buying it. And shout out also to our guy Darnell from The Athletic, who had his column back around that trade deadline when he kind of said a Bulls executive, he didn't name him, but he said Bulls executive said, to Darnell saying, hey, a lot of Bulls fans are unhappy right now. And he said, well, maybe your Bulls fans are unhappy. I see a full house every night.
That's the shit I'm talking about. That's what upsets me more.
You think it changes? What do you think changes? And I'm just asking because I'm reading the chat here. I saw something, I think it was from Matt O'Keefe.
Okay.
And I thought it was an interesting point. The Reinsdorfs own the White Sox. There's 500 people in that stadium this weekend. They're not rushing to sell. They're not rushing to make any changes right now. That's what that is. They are content with how the business is operating.
Correct.
And that is sad because we could do whatever as fans. We have no control. None. And that is what I don't know. I don't know.
That's a common theme as a Chicago sports fan.
If this boycott
gotta hold on to the Bulls and their just nice, steady, not too exciting profitability to make up for the fact the White Sox are a even bigger joke.
Yeah, that's a common thing among Chicago sports fans, unfortunately, when you're thinking about ownership and it not being great. Because I can literally point at all of them and be like, no, you're shit, you're shit, you're shit. But even I can look at the Bears, which is the point I'm making here. Like their ownership, McCaskey's, but they put the right people in place to make these decisions to get the Bears to this point, to where they're at, where everybody's now excited about what they're doing. You have to make those, you know what I mean? Like, you have to have the right people like that. Those are the people I can look at because they operate the day-to-day, which is all I keep saying.
Good elite ownership is the ultimate competitive advantage. And
sure.
It's a good point.
It's the ultimate competitive advantage.
And very rare.
Very rare. But it also doesn't guarantee you success. I mean, you look at the Clippers. They probably have
Steve Ballmer's incredible.
The best owner from like a basketball operations perspective in terms of the money he's investing into his organization, his new stadium, into winning and buying good players. Like, there's probably no one who's spending money like that into their team.
The NFL survey they put out.
But that doesn't that they're not winning. They haven't won a championship.
Right.
On the other hand, like, having a good management team is a lot more common. And you can have a good management. This is what you said to me a couple weeks ago, maybe around the trade deadline, that really stuck, is like, I've still seen people have success in Arturas's role with the Chicago Bulls.
With the Bulls.
Doing his job and this team being successful. And he can't do that. It's the same ownership. What's the common denominator? So I agree. AK has failed. Like, his vision has failed. The team that he put together missed the playoffs 3 out of 4 years. They've missed the playoffs back-to-back seasons. They've been a sub-500 team for back-to-back seasons. They had one short run where things were clicking. I don't think anybody fully bought into it. Obviously, we were excited by it. But when that stopped working, he stopped doing his job.
Yeah.
He and his vision have failed at this. And, like, it's still possible to have success in this role, even if you don't have elite ownership.
Yeah.
One thing for me, and I'm cutting my mic. Look at the NFL survey this year. The Chiefs, they returned in almost every category: ownership, facilities, treatment of families, weight room, F. And you're right. The Bulls ownership sucks, but there is not, you could succeed with poor ownership, because what do the Chiefs have? They have a great roster, they have a great coach, and they have 3 Super Bowls now in the last 6 years. And that it's possible to do. Does the Bulls ownership suck? 100%, absolutely. Would they be better off with better ownership? 100%, absolutely. Can you still be better than this with crap ownership? Yes.
Yes. Did the Cubs get better because the ownership changed, or because they went and got Theo Epstein? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and it was good ownership that went and got Theo Epstein. But yeah.
So, like, ownership can be incompetent in a bunch of different ways.
But your point is valid.
So long as they hold their front office executives accountable with their job performance.
And that's the thing, is like, this front office has autonomy. That is something that a lot of front offices don't have.
Correct.
That's a pro from the Bulls.
There is a ton of turnover in NBA front offices.
And that buys into Matt's point right there.
But
accepting the fact that you're ass and being okay.
The other side of that coin is ownership is not putting any pressure on the front office to do anything because it doesn't matter to them. So it's gone too far in that direction.
To that point, and to your earlier point about the fact that AK has failed with his vision, shout out to our friend Ross Pins, great member of the Bulls social media community.
He's awesome.
Who I saw tweeted a couple of AK quotes in that fourth quarter as the Bulls season was circling the drain. Quote, Arturas Karnisovas, I will build a foundation worthy of the Chicago Bulls and Bulls fans around the world. Fail. Quote, Arturas Karnisovas, we will continue being aggressive in our efforts to make this team better. We will not settle for mediocrity here. End quote. Fail and a lie. It's one or the other, or both. Here's the problem. AK saying we won't settle for mediocrity and then changing his mind all of the times in which he has moved the goalposts of what he wants this team to achieve, saying he will continue to be aggressive to make efforts to improve this team when we watch one transaction window after another pass by. And we all sit here and say, what? Nothing? You're a liar, and you're a liar who failed at the job. So you might change your tune and feel pretty good about your job security in spite of the fact that you are now, and will probably tell Bulls fans and Bulls media again tomorrow, flatly, accepting mediocrity. You'll spin it however positive way you want to spin it, AK, but the fact is, you are accepting mediocrity now, and you can get away with it because you have bosses in Bulls ownership who also accept mediocrity. And Bulls fans should be enraged about all of it.
Super chat, Joe?
Super chats. Oh, man, yeah, we're already over an hour. Let's do some super chats.
Oh, my God.
Oh, we love you, Bulls Nation.
AKA shove that competitiveness and continuity up where the sun don't ever shine. Whenever the colonoscopy test happens repeatedly, you pass by default.
Oh, man.
They went from championships
using the capital and lowercase alternating in the AK voice. Shout out, Dan.
Championships, continuity, competitiveness, crap. That's what this is. That's
my goodness.
The down.
Dan also saying, Razor's just put in your 2 weeks notice. I don't think that's a thing owners do.
Thing. Yeah.
Even if they did, they'd probably pull a stint like over there in Minnesota. Takesies backsies. We were just kidding. We don't actually want to sell. Baki Yasin saying, Jerry Reinsdorf doesn't care about the fans. He's proven this time and again. Whether it's the Bulls or Sox, as long as Jerry's the owner, he'll never be successful. I'm officially done as a fan.
But they were successful.
That is your right. Martin with a super chat saying, wonder what Zach would have done in this game. LOL.
Oh, man.
I mean, who knows?
Well, he LOL'd, so I know
he would have had a good game like he did in the playing game against Toronto, or
Maybe
he would have had a bad game.
He'll have another chance to do it again next year when they inevitably run it back and Zach LaVine is still in the lineup and you end up playing the Miami Heat in the second playing game.
Oh, my goodness. Dan throwing us a bunch of super chats. We appreciate you, Dan, saying that he's simulating the tankathon as we speak. Let us know if the Bulls won. What would I do to be Will leaving the studio in West Loop on a Friday? Sad for Big Dave. Love it for Peck. Bring back Savine. Shout out to our guy, John Savine.
Don't be sad for me, bro.
Oh, dude,
Trust me.
Speaking of, I think I might be most excited for that Clips-Mavs series. Of all the first round series, I am also excited for Pacers Bucks just because of all of the new like crazy boiling rivalry stuff that happened between them this season. The NBA play-in tournament or the NBA in-season tournament game.
Yeah. You saw it boiling
game
over
ball
a little
gate.
bit. Yeah.
Bucks Pacers gonna be lit.
I promise you.
Bucks Pacers gonna be lit.
But honestly, Boston and the Heat I want to see too. They don't like each other at all. So yeah, I want to see that too.
Dan saying the sky is green, grass is blue. Am I okay?
Okay. Yeah. All right.
To quote one of my favorites, the sky was yellow and the sun was blue.
Ooh, you got focus today too?
Everything's going to be fine.
Getting full
fans.
pack up
Everything's
in
coming up Peck today.
Everything's coming up pack.
Just put on some Dead, put on your Shady Rays, head to Sunnyside, and enjoy the fact that you are done tolerating this Bulls season. You don't have to worry about that. I mean, we'll still be here all summer long.
Please,
for those of you who want to hang out, we're not going away.
We're not going nowhere.
Those of you who want to take your mind off the Bulls this summer, you are allowed.
Yeah.
I support that decision if you think that's best for your mental health. My mental health is going to be better anyway.
Yeah.
You guys should still click on our show link. You don't even have to watch it, but just make sure you click on it.
Jelly saying last super chat of the season. So we all rationally know where the Bulls should go after this season, but I think we live in a separate astral plane from AK and his bizarro perceptions. See part two. Should be an interesting offseason regardless of the activity that does or does not happen. Appreciate you four fellas and your invaluable dynamic as always. Much love. We love you, Jelly.
Love you. Anything under that, Joe?
Yeah. Huh? Also, shout out to Jelly for picking up my Souls of Mischief reference earlier. Mm-hmm. This is how we chill.
Oh,
from 93.
Heard you loud and clear, sir. And it was why I said, please.
We got that one, Joe.
We caught you out. We caught you, sir. Randy Moss.
Dan, activist Peck, I support. There you go, buddy. Always trying to do my part for my fellow Bulls fans. Football CF Candy saying, Matt, remember when I said this in February? Hashtag fire at me. Yep. You and many others.
I say free.
I said it in November. Dan saying he is our
Shea Vara.
Who that?
Move on.
Jaxo23 saying the Bulls and White Sox are suffering from Jerry being cheap. The White Sox are 2-11 because of Jerry wanting to be cheap. Man, dude, the sights of that Sox home game the other day. Ooh, tumbleweed, and that's the difference between Jerry's two teams.
Now, so you could have put that up 5 years ago. It would have been the
UC
thing.
Was rocking. On Wednesday.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
It really
Charles
was crazy.
Davis Aiken with a super chat, $10. Appreciate you saying, can the Bulls please get a foot doctor? If I hear about another foot injury, I'm going to puke on Reinsdorf's shoes. It was crazy how many of the Bulls' injuries were foot injuries this year.
Dude, oh my God, so many feet.
And it was
like a lot of feet.
And not just Lonzo with the big baller brand shoes. Everybody had broken feet. Everybody.
Oh man.
Football CF Candy with another super chat saying, Dave, they hired Leon Rose because of boycotts in New York.
But the Knicks was always no. You know what? I ain't gonna get into that.
Ayers Wade saying, can't wait for the presser when AKA pisses in our eyes. That's a gross mental image. Tells us it's champagne. Thanks for keeping me sane all season long. Big love to you, Ayers Wade. AK saying season of despair is finally over. Thank God. Fitting end. Wander into the abyss in the offseason, if you will. Lonzo's return. Continuity waits. Bid you all farewell. Much love, AK. Appreciate you hanging out all season long. B Miles, super chat. Sadly, casuals outnumber diehards. always will. These games are just content, bragging points to them. AK, profits and money flow the same, even as mediocrity is sustained. What incentive does Bulls and AK have to change? Profits triumph over what is blatantly clear to us, Bulls fans. Organizations win championships.
That's your T-shirt.
Organizations alone. Or players alone don't win championships. Yeah, he left the word alone out. Samuel Martin, Matt, Dave, Will makes being Bulls fans worth it. Yeah, we appreciate that, Samuel. Much love to you, man. That's why we are here, fellow Bulls fans. AK season 1 can't beat good teams. Season 2 can't beat bad teams. Season 3 at times can't beat bad or good teams. ... Mediocrity.
Well done.
Bulls really improved on their close game record this season.
Yeah, clutch record.
That they did. John Davis with a super chat saying, Bulls so exhausting to watch. It's like, think about this. Bears and Sky seem more exciting. Hawks have Bedard. Bulls have Vucevic shooting 29%
Wow,
from
that's
3.
pretty good.
Wow,
Hey,
that's a good one.
Good.
That is a good one.
I like that.
I saw somebody else in the comments earlier saying Vucer, which I think was like or Voozer, combination of Vooch and Boozer.
And Boozer?
Yeah.
Don't disrespect
Who?
Boozer.
But I mean, shout out to Booze on that NBA TV pregame coverage
Beard
tonight.
immaculate. Colored in just
that
right.
Vooch beard is undefeated.
Where is his Just for Men commercial?
The Boozer beard.
Get that man his money. Stop tripping.
For real.
He deserves it. He earned it. Covers like this part of his face almost to his eyes. Nobody got a beard like that.
Grab it, Joe. God.
Am I supposed to grab?
No, Joe Kim, no.
No, that was my impersonation of Carlos Boozer telling Joakim to go get the rebound while Boozer stands there. What?
That he had already gotten.
Yeah.
Give me that, Joe.
Grab it, Joe.
Stop yelling at me.
Oh, my goodness. Charlie saying, mad disrespectful to Boozer. Boozer with that nice shoe hair polish. Yeah.
Oh, the hair polish.
South Garcon saying, I would take Boozer right now over Vooch. So would I. I mean, like, overpaid, underwhelming consolation prize in free agency in the summer of 2010?
Yeah.
Yeah. Still put up some numbers.
At least he didn't cost him 2 first-round picks.
Played equally bad defense to Vooch.
Did punch a ref. On an and one. Shout out to him for that.
In the nuts.
That was a great moment.
Accidentally.
Yes,
We think.
we think. So we've been told.
Oh, my goodness. We are well over an hour, so we will get out of here and send you on your merry way, Bulls fans, or your sad way. But
We'll be
bounce back tomorrow. It's Friday night. You got the whole weekend ahead of you to take a few deep breaths, to reflect, to take a step back from this team if you want. But, Will, what's the situation? Have we gotten confirmation yet from Bulls PR if their exit interviews will happen tomorrow?
We do not yet have word.
Okay. They might be doing their exit interviews tomorrow afternoon. If that is the case, we will be here and we will do a show for y'all tomorrow after those exit interviews happen. Because we are always here for our fellow Bulls fans.
The hashtag.
So just keep an eye on those updates from Bulls PR, from our CHGO_Bulls team account about what is happening with exit interviews as the Bulls season ends. And then we will let you know exactly what the plan is for our shows moving forward. But we could be right back here tomorrow afternoon doing a show for you guys to break down the exit interviews from the Bulls front office and players.
We're going to have so much to talk
all
about.
Off season, y'all.
We're going to have so much to talk about this
I saw a lot of that last year. People saying, "Oh man, I thought y'all guys. I didn't know y'all were still doing the show in the off season." We are here.
5 shows a week.
We are here.
5 shows a week.
Here. We're here. We will be right here all off season, y'all. Join us as we talk some more of this.
There's going to be a lot to talk about.
Oh, it's going to be a lot, baby. It's my favorite time.
It's not like I'm relieved because it's like we go on vacation now. No, I'm just relieved because we get to shift what our job is now.
Yeah.
Which is still talking about the Bulls, just doing it in different hours and different days.
Yeah. You kind of go on a little vacation. You did start that off with saying
that's true. Uncle Matt's going home and going on Southwest.com pronto to go take my mind off this team, even if it's just for a weekend.
Southwest Platinum.
Oh, you know I got that preferred plus mileage.
That hook up.
Bulls Nation, we love you. Seriously. Can't say that genuinely and often enough. We love you guys. Thank you for enduring another season with us. We can't do this show, do these jobs on this platform without your support. It means so much to us. We love talking Bulls with you guys every day. It is truly the greatest joy of this job. It's not Bulls wins and losses. that is joy and sadness. It's always joy because we get to do this job and talk to you, our fellow Bulls fans, who love this team as much as we do. And that comes genuinely straight from the heart. We will probably be back tomorrow. We will keep you updated either way. In the meantime, follow Will the GOAT. AllCHGO.com is where you can find his writing. Will_Gottlieb is where you can follow him on Twitter. Big Dave Bow, BAWL Sports. Our pal and producer extraordinaire, the one, the only, Joey Spathis, twin brother of Troll Joe, son of George and Lisa.
Uncle of Baby Joe.
Dude, Baby Joe's a year old.
Yeah, growing up, man.
Crazy.
Jet
Time
skis
flies.
and all. Yeah.
Time flies.
You never catch up with him.
Why is it that I also feel like I've been stuck in quicksand for the last year?
Well, your feet are out now. Breathe.
Perks are coming, baby. Bulls Nation, we love you. We appreciate you. We are CHGO_Bulls. We are always here for you. We will talk to you soon. See you, Red. Be good.
Love y'all.
Sell the team.